Hi, Aries rising sign. Here is your weekly forecast starting on the 28th of April until the 4th of May. So, welcome back, Aries rising. We are in the middle of a significant shift. And to understand where you are going, we have to look at last week a little bit more. Because last week, Uranus and Venus met on 29 degrees in your second house, the house of income and personal assets. So you likely experienced a bit of a destructive moment about your finances, about your self-worth, and you were pushed to detach from all the ways of earning or that were keeping you stagnant. This is the second year in a row we have seen this exact degree of activity, meaning you are putting the finishing touches on a massive kind of like annual upgrades to your value system. Now, as we move into the current sequence, the energy is actually shifting. You were working on your financial stabilization to more of this intellectual and identity power. So Venus went into your third house, made a sextile to Neptune. Now it makes a trine to Pluto, Juno, a square to the nodes, and a sextile to Saturn. So this is about you being asked to take that new sense of self-worth and apply it to how you speak, how you network, how you show up as a leader. That trine to Pluto, which is in your 11th house, you feel potentially more kind of like aligned. You start speaking about your long-term goals. You start making certain type of connections with others so that you can achieve that financial security that you need. Maybe this is going to be a long-term commitment, even with Juno being there, a contract or a pact with a group or a collaboration that demands you to take shared power more seriously because Saturn is involved as well. This is about you not having to keep the peace mask on anymore and then stepping into a position where you can own your intellectual power. This is not necessarily about being agreeable. It's about being impactful. It's about convincing others in a way that you are right, that this is the path that you need to be following, even though others might show opposing energies to you. If you have been avoiding a difficult conversation with a teammate, a community member, then we should be having it. Kind of like your voice is your instrument right now. Speak your truth. Your community is actually waiting for kind of like a leader to step up. Then we've got that square to the nodes. Now, the nodes are sitting in your 12 and 6 house, and the square to the nodes is always about decision making, especially in Gemini, and it's coupled with third house. So we have got choices here. Am I going to choose the daily grind and the suffer that comes with it, or am I going to choose that spiritual, secluded peace and kind of like working on yourself? Yes, you might have got the tendency to lose yourself in the busy work environment or health-related perfectionism, but actually you need to be focusing on the higher vision, on a mental retreat, on a mental cleansing, really. And also Hebe enters your third house, which is a youthful archetype connected to service in the house of communication should changes the game. It says, stop trying to force your message to be perfect and start looking at how your ideas can serve your immediate environment. Maybe you feel a bit stressed because of daily busyness. Instead of over committing to chores, how can I mentor? How can I share? How can I connect? Um, how you can kind of like convey others in a bit like a funny way, for example. That's important that we are having light-hearted conversations here. And maybe it's also about you sharing your message, kind of like becoming this generous, kind of like messenger, rather than trying to get a message across always in a very perfect way. We also have got the Chiron and Mercury conjunction in your first house. So you are healing yourself. It says, I'm going to show the world who I am. I'm going to speak the truth about who I am, what my identity wounds are, what the self-limiting labels are that kind of like I allowed others to kind of put on me, or I put it on myself, basically, because I was afraid of being judged. The Mercury shifts into your second house. So you are grounding your thoughts, you're moving from healing your identity to building a financial reality with this new sense of encouragement that you can step outside of your comfort zone. So you might be finalizing a personal brand, or you are having these truthful conversations, discussions with yourself about what you are worth. And once Mercury hits that second house, the mind becomes more practical, solid regarding your money. So let's sign financial agreements. Let's set clear long-term expectations for your own success, for your own business. Now we are closing the show with Moon going out of bound, and the majority of that out of bound period is going to be happening in the sign of Sagittarius, which is actually your ninth house, and Shiva enters your first house as well. So for Aries rising sign, this requires to be big, bold, and unapologetic. You may feel this urge to break out of your local bubble and explore new horizons, to relocate, to travel. And Shiva is working on the destruction of the old self which held you back. Because we are meant to be making space for the new self. So it's about you getting in touch with your own power. Yes, you have got certain impulses to change your look, your path, your entire life direction. But Shiva in the first house says the real action is all about the personal initiation. If an old version of you is holding you back, it's keeping you small. Break it, build a better one. You are the architect of your own identity. You are the architect of your own life. And cut out the people-pleasing energies that potentially drain even your physical vitality. Because Mercury rules your sixth house and meeting at Chiron, your body is a lot more sensitive. And Shiva moving into your first house and all the 12 planetary energies that we've got right now in the sign of Aries makes your body very vulnerable. So watch out for accidents, for example. I think the universe is asking you to get serious about your autonomy. You are building a life that supports your vision, not one that compromises it for others. You can be intense. Maybe you don't want to, and that holds you back. So keep your aim high, and I will see you in my next forecast. Take care. Bye bye.